Ladies and gents, welcome back to the Pump Media Studios. Here today once again with our special guest host, Mr. Ronnie Orr, the man that can. How are we doing, Ronnie?
I'm doing absolutely fantastic. How are you today, Chris?
Awesome as always, mate. Awesome as always.
Good.
Can you let us know who's in the studio today with you, pal?
Chris, it gives me the greatest of pleasures to have the one and only Emma Heineman, the IFBB Figure Pro, the UK's #1 posing coach and the founder of Female Force. Emma, welcome.
Woo! Thank you so much.
Wow.
Super happy to be here.
What a mouthful that is.
Right?
You know, when you stop and think about it, you go, that's me.
I know, it is me.
I know.
Sometimes I've got to go pinch myself. Is that really me?
You know, the one thing which is interesting, I've looked at your videos and the thing which is really nice about how grounded you are as a person, because we have done an interview before, haven't we? Maybe 4 years ago. But time flies, doesn't it? But the one thing that comes across on your videos is, and I remember it very, very clearly, don't look at me now, the figure pro. Look at me all those years ago when I had to start and I wasn't perfect and I made mistakes and I couldn't pose. So that's really been the grounding for you, doesn't it, to where you are today? So give me an understanding where it all come from.
Absolutely. So I obviously started competing in 2013.
Wow.
Had really no idea about the competitive scene, didn't really have a clue about posing. There wasn't really a lot of information out there at that stage. I mean, there was no posing coaches. No one could teach you how to pose. There was maybe a few loosely called prep coaches, because even at that stage, there wasn't a massive amount of prep coaches either. But your coach generally showed you a bit of how to pose. There was a little bit of content on maybe YouTube, but nothing on social media to what it is now. So I just really tried to copy what I could find of the other girls. And even then when I did that, I still stepped on stage and went, oh, they're doing something a little bit different to what I've been practicing. So it really just started from there. So I really got into posing more for myself to figure out how I could make myself look better.
How much of that come back? Because obviously we know you're a dancer as well. So how much of that come back to your own pride of being able to present a better looking physique?
Yeah, well, from what my background in dance was, I knew how to present myself to make myself look like a dancer, a showgirl, a ballerina, a contemporary dancer.
Stage presence.
I already knew how to be versatile with different styles.
Good.
So now when I look at bodybuilding and posing and the different categories, for me, each category now is like a different style. So when I really started to try and understand what the judges wanted to see, what actually was an X frame, how was I trying to emulate the girls, how could I manipulate my body shape to look more like the other girls? Then I really start to go, okay, so if I actually make my waist look smaller here by working on my angles and my foot position and my shoulder position, then actually I'm starting to look more like the other girls than what I did naturally. At that stage, I didn't have the muscle development to be competitive on that level with them, but I kind of realised I can do that by posing.
So the class you were in at this point, was it bikini? Was it toned?
Toned figure. So
you didn't enter bikini, you went straight into tone?
No, yeah, because when I first competed, there was only really UK BFF and NABBA.
Yes.
And in between, they were just more local shows. So I was, the people that I trained with, they were Camp NABBA. So it was natural for me to progress straight into NABBA. NABBA didn't have a bikini category. Your first category was toned figure. So it was just a straight off the ball, right, I'll do toned figure. They suggest NABBA. I knew nothing.
So you went with the flow, basically.
I just went with the flow.
Yeah,
I want to do a show. I want to get on stage. Okay, someone said do NABBA. Okay, I'll do NABBA. Didn't really know what to expect. Hadn't even watched a show before I did my first one. I didn't even go and watch. I just thought, I'll just wing it. And because...
Do you say you win it or wing it?
Wing. Although up until about 4 weeks out, I was going around saying to everyone, I'm going to win this. I'm going to go in and win.
Yeah, but that's just you, isn't
that's
it?
That's just my mindset. And then
that's the universe working for you.
Well, kind of, because then it took me 3 years to win.
Yeah.
But I didn't really have a full understanding of competing and, you know, how it really worked. And then I realized actually I'm a little bit behind these other girls. I'm not actually on their level yet. I'm not good enough to win.
In the body,
in the body,
in the physique.
Yeah, just what didn't have the development.
Yeah.
I had quite a naturally small frame. I was a dancer, and I was more slight, so I knew I needed to build more muscle.
Okay.
And as soon as I did my first show, I looked back at my pictures off the next day, looked at the girls, and I realised, okay, I've got work to do. But maybe me didn't want to do an off season. I wanted to keep going back.
Lean.
Again. Not even anything to do with condition. My mindset, competition and competitive wise, it's more in my nature to try again. For me, taking time out, that wasn't chasing my goal.
Option, yeah.
It wasn't chasing my goal. So it felt more normal for me, because as a dancer, you get a knockback, you go to the next audition.
Absolutely. And you don't take it personally. You say, well,
no.
Okay, it wasn't for me.
So
it wasn't for them. Let's go.
Didn't place in that show. Okay. I'll go to the next one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Placed in the next show. Right, I'm going to the next season.
But in between those, from not placing to placing, what were you actually doing with your physique? Were you working on your physique?
I was working, yeah.
Okay, so you were working on the physique, but you were also working on the presentation, because you're obviously saying to yourself, this is somewhere where I can make a difference.
Mm-hmm.
I can stand out different to everybody else.
And even in my first show, yes, the physique wasn't there, but I was immediately given recognition for the stage presence, the pose and routine. So I knew, okay, I'm in the right direction. I just need to refine the posing. I need to work on the physique. I'm not on the same level as the girls.
But your goal was very clear then, wasn't it? So you actually experienced what was going on. You saw what you needed to do as far as your presentations, and you knew that you had to do something with your physique. That's going to stand you in good stead for the job that you're doing now, which is obviously your number one posing coach. And I can see the enthusiasm, and I can hear the enthusiasm there for what you're doing on that. But talk to me about your progression from your toned and your results that you've had through there, because obviously people watching this might not know, they might not follow you on Instagram and on your Facebook page. So just tell us a little bit about your successes that you had, because I know you've had plenty. So tell me more.
Yeah, super. So obviously, as I mentioned, started competing in 2013. Was my first show. Didn't even place. I think I came 7th, which you don't get a placing for. Continued to compete every season for 3 years, and just slowly worked my way up the ranks. Started placing, so I'd make 5th or 6th, and then the next show I might get 4th. The next season I might bump it up to 3rd. So it took me 3 years to win, and it was a lot of persistence, a lot of hard work. I had to really build a frame and a physique and a figure that was worthy of first place. I didn't mind that. I'm not afraid of hard work. So I did that, and came, I think in one season, I won the NABA UK was my first win, which ironically was actually the first show that I ever did. So
you went back to get the crown.
I went back and took that crown.
Yo.
So I got the NABA UK. I then went on to get the British title. And then before I'd actually won the British title, I had already decided to take myself to Brazil for the Worlds. So if you
self-funding yourself,
so obviously if you go as part of the chosen team, you get your funding paid for. And I just thought, well, I've competed in, I think it was the universe. I think if you place somewhere in the universe, then you qualify to go to, I think came 3rd. Top 3 girls are able to go to the Worlds. So I just thought, I'm just going to go. I'm going. So
try and stop me.
Yeah, I know, exactly. Yeah. Brazil. Who doesn't want to go to Brazil?
Absolutely.
So I took myself to the World, paid for myself, and I just kind of went with a mindset of, I just want to do well. I want to stand on a world stage. I want to stand amongst the girls, and I would be happy to make top 6. Top 6 would be amazing. Dream would be top 3. So I won.
I didn't want to steal your thunder there.
No, don't interrupt.
I'm not.
No. So I won, which was for me it was completely unexpected.
Was it a shock?
Yeah,
really.
I didn't expect.
So you
it.
went there just to basically stand on that stage, get some experience.
I wasn't the top dog.
No,
there was Natalie McKenna who went. I think she went in place of Alex. Can't quite remember Alex's last name off the top of my head, but she went in place of Alex, so which rightfully so, because she came second in the universe. I came third, and Alex Larkin, sorry. So I just went and I just thought I'll just give it a bash.
Make the numbers up.
Yeah, I'll make the numbers up.
Okay.
So I was totally, completely didn't expect it at all. As I said, in my mind, you know, I went thinking top 6 would be amazing. It's a world stage.
So from when you placed third of the universe to the worlds, what was the timescale in between them from going from one to the other?
So so that would have been the universe is in October, and then the worlds is in June. So then in the May
following year,
yeah. So then
so you had time to change as well. Then
yeah,
at this
time
point.
to progress, definitely.
So knowing you're looking at those pictures. I'm finishing third. I know I'm going to go and make the numbers up. But what? Yeah,
and I was still in my head. And my head, I just thought it's a world stage. The standard's going to be phenomenal. I don't know what I'm going to be up against, but I know I'm bringing a really great package. So looking back, that's probably that was my best tone figure look.
Did you actually go there quietly confident, though, when you think about it? Take yourself back. I know you said you're making the numbers up, and I didn't mean to be flippant when I said that. But, you know, did you go there quietly confident that I'm looking at yourself and I'm looking at them, I've actually got a chance to create a bit of a sort of a shock here?
So,
because you came up on the rails, really, didn't you? When you think about it,
I was the underdog.
Yeah,
you know, like I wasn't the number one universe winner to go. I had momentum because I won the UK, and then I won the British, which was literally must have been in the May. So we went to the Worlds in June. So I won the British, so I was confident because I did go feeling like
I'm unbeatable.
I've won. I'm the best in Britain.
Yeah, yeah.
So I did have a confidence, but any champion has to.
Yep.
So I remember going, but just thinking like, this is the best package I've brought to date. So I was excited about that. I was excited to showcase it on a world stage, but I was also excited to see how I fared against the other girls. I mean, there's Brazilians in there. There's well,
we know the quality of at the Worlds.
The Worlds is phenomenal.
Yeah.
It's like it's the ultimate stage that any competitor wants to stand on.
It is the next stage up, isn't it? And you're looking at a completely different physique, a completely different muscle mass, everything. Even in the girls,
yeah,
you
totally.
Are.
It's a different look.
Yeah.
And luckily for me, the look that I brought was what they wanted on the day, which is amazing. And I remember being on stage and they called 6th, they called 5th, they called 4th.
What are you thinking?
I'm thinking, oh, I'm in top 3.
You really did? Oh my goodness.
Top 3. And then I thought, okay, I probably got 3rd place. Amazing. And then they called Natalie 3rd. And I thought, can I swear?
You can swear, of course you can, yeah.
I thought, fuck. I thought, oh my God, top 2. So I was thinking, I've come second. This girl next to me was amazing. And she was coached by Maria Kuzmina, who is my idol.
Okay.
So I was like thinking,
I'm happy second.
Oh, second. Winning.
Wow.
Amazing. And they called the other girl as second, and I was literally gobsmacked.
Was it
Really?
slow motion then?
I was like,
was everything in
what?
slow motion for you?
It was just so surreal. So surreal. Like, I really, really didn't go there expecting to win at all. Even when I was on stage, I wasn't even thinking, you know, sometimes, you know, I've got this. No, like, I really, really didn't expect to win.
Well, it's an experience that you've never had before. So
it's an international stage.
Absolutely.
You know, even though the universe is an international stage, you're on home turf.
Home soil, sorry. Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
so you're confident because you've got your comfort.
You're amongst the people that you know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You've got support.
You've got friends and everything around. Even in the class, you've got people you know.
In the southern part of Brazil, you know, we're by ourselves. We're just the British team. That's it. So, it was a real special moment.
So what year was that?
That was 2016.
2016.
So 2016 won the Worlds, and then I don't think I did the UK again after that, and the next goal was the Universe. So I've got the UK title, I've got the British title, I've got the world title. I want the universe.
Yeah, you want the quad.
Yeah.
I want the quadruple here.
And then went to the universe and got kicked out of Toned Figure.
Okay, listen, I want to stop on that because we've had a number of situations, especially at NABBA, where girls have qualified in the toned and then they go to the tone final at the Brit and then they get moved. My experiences are working backstage when I've been with Pump Media, because I do the interviews backstage. It's devastating for the girls. They really don't know how to handle it, and they become very emotional, and they go quite irrational about it, and they lose all the whole concept of where they are. Why is that? What happens with you when something like that happens to you, where you get moved?
Okay,
what goes through your mind?
Yeah, so let me just rewind slightly. So when I went to the universe to do Toned Figure, there was no athletic figure. So there's now athletic figure is your middle ground. So I was bumped into trained. Toned to trained. I'm not trained figure. So I think what happens for the girls is, what you have to remember is, if you get changed in a men's category, I think it's a little bit different if you're going like, it's different because as a guy, you get as shredded and as big as possible. That's the goal. Height category.
Men's bodybuilding.
Yeah, men's bodybuilding.
Novice, masters, overs, 3, 2, 4, whatever.
Yeah,
yeah.
Your
4, 3,
goal
2,
is condition size.
Yeah.
That's not the goal in Toned Figure.
No.
And it is the goal, obviously, in Trained Figure. Athletic Figure, obviously, it's the same, but it's another level of condition.
From toned,
down from trained, but up from toned.
Yeah.
It's another level of condition with a little bit more size. So, obviously, Athletic Figure's not there. It's scrapped. So I don't even have that option. So I think the reason why the girls probably lose it is because you've built up in your head for that moment in that category. You planned it. I personally visualize every single step on stage. You manipulate your prep sometimes to make yourself suit that category. You soften up or you get a little bit harder. So obviously for Toned Figure, it's a slightly softer look. I'd eaten donuts the night before to soften up.
Yeah.
So to step on stage, and then personally for me to have 3 titles and then be told I'm going to be moved to trained was a little bit of a kick in the teeth. Now, I do think they were trying to make an example, because I think what happens in all of the categories, especially for the girls, they go in cycles. They're very on the ball with criteria, and then slowly the girls, they move away, they migrate from the criteria, they get a little bit harder, they get a little bit bigger. And
then it changes.
It goes, so the criteria almost goes in cycles, and at some point the federation has to go, stop. We've got to pull them right back here. And I just think, unfortunately, I was of that time.
So what happened?
I think off the back of 3 wins, I was so on a roll, and I was so caught up with training and being better and improving. I do take some accountability that I was probably a little bit past the criteria. But the only thing that...
Is that on reflection, but at the time you didn't think
At the time, I thought I looked great.
Yeah, okay.
Can I just throw one in here? Do girls have a choice? Are they given a choice to leave the category and risk it for a biscuit?
Yeah, you are given a choice.
Chances of being marked down.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a good question, Chris. And
I just want to throw that in there.
Yeah. They are advised. If we just hold it here, they're advised at that point that they should go up to the next class, but they stay in this class. The likelihood is that they would get marked down. So it's really forcing your hand, and that's why the reaction is actually it's difficult for the girls to take, because
mentally
I think you'll go on to that now.
You plan in your mind that you're a certain category. So then to get told actually you're not that category and you might do better in another one. I mean, I've watched it, I've judged. I've sat on PCA judging panel, and I've seen it happen.
But you've got no choice. You've got to go to that class, haven't you?
In this situation, I wasn't given an option.
No, you've got to go.
Well, I wasn't. I was told you cannot step back on stage as Toned Figure. You go on trained, or you don't go on at all.
Well, again, so that's the option. Yeah.
That's not the option. Yeah. So I wasn't given an option to stay in my category.
Oh, sorry, I misunderstood what you said.
Yeah.
See, that's not the case in this country. What they say to you is you can stay in here, but they'll mark you down.
No,
but they're going to go up. Yeah,
this was NABA.
Yeah.
UK in the Universe
In the
show,
Universe,
which was in Birmingham.
Okay.
So yeah, it was on home soil.
So what happened?
So I was moved into trained figure. You know, it was an option of really get upset about it. I think I had a little bit of a cry, and I went, you know what? I've got people in the audience that are here to see me, and
I'm going to give it everything.
I'm going to just get on stage and do what I can. Haven't really prepped myself for trained figure. I actually don't think I am trained figure, but you know, I'll just go on there.
You've got to put all that to your back of your mind.
I almost
and you
had
get
to
out
go
there.
on and go, you know what? You're telling me that I can't go back on stage as toned. Well, I'm going to, okay, you want me to go on as trained figure? I'll go on and I'll give you a bloody good show.
I'm going to cause you a problem.
I'm going to cause you a problem here.
Excellent.
Yeah. So I went on and somehow managed to win 6th place in trained figure.
Okay. Well done. Excellent.
I think a lot of that had to do with pose and presentation. I was still very aesthetically pleasing.
Stage presence.
Stage
as well.
presence, and you know, I had a level of condition that, you know, as well. What we've got to remember with posing is that you can make yourself look smaller. You can actually make yourself look bigger. You can showcase more condition, or you can hide your condition.
It's an illusion.
Yeah, you can. And luckily, I kind of knew how to manipulate that. So I just thought, right, okay, I'm going on stage as trained figure. I hadn't done a lot of pose and coaching in trained figure. So I just kind of went on and thought, okay, I know from the front I'm a lot leaner. I kind of know from the back what I've been told not to do to look harder or leaner. So now I need to make sure I do that to make myself look better. Okay, not supposed to flash my abs in toned. I'm going to flash them in trained. So I definitely, there was a little bit of uproar for the trained figure girls. They weren't happy that I'd placed 6th, because you look at the lineup and I am smaller, I'm not as conditioned, but I've got shape, I've got symmetry, I'm aesthetically pleasing. There's still the feminine lines there, and I think that's why they granted me 6th place.
Okay.
In the lineup, which is fine. You know, it is what it is. So that was kind of the end of my toned figure journey. So that was 2016. I then took a year out and just did a lot of guest posing with the lovely Kayla MacDonald.
Yes.
And we started a posing duo called SAS Squad, which was great. Whoop, whoop.
We do remember them.
Yeah,
well.
you remember those guest posing spots. So yeah, we had a year of guest posing, and then 2017 I went back into prep. And I think Kayla got a little bit more stuck into judging, and we then kind of just did our own thing business wise. And then I came back and went back on stage with PCA, and I competed in athletic figure, got a pro card with PCA, and then
2017,
2018.
Okay.
So I guest posed all of 2017.
Got you. Okay.
And then teamed up with Jordan Peters at the beginning of 2018, decided, right, okay, I want to get back on stage now.
Just let me stop you there. What's the